I have a great idea for you for the halftime. I'm sorry I'm obsessed with this.
Tell me.
Drake. Because you were at the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar dissed him at the Super Bowl. You got
So we can create a bit of rivalry.
Drake
right?
comes back for, you know.
That's a good idea. Actually, Drake was with us when we announced the host cities of...
You might be onto something here.
I should have his number still somewhere.
I expect to be sitting right next to you when you sign him on the dotted line. Anyway.
We'll do that.
Now, hold on. Wait a minute. Kendrick might be cooked. Guys, it's Providence. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't know, FIFA president Gianni Infantino has hinted that Drake could be the first artist to perform at the first ever World Cup final halftime show. And if Drake is as devious as he might be, or I think he is, that might spell bad news for Kendrick. Okay? Because if Drake doesn't take the high road, which he might, he might think to himself, look, I don't need to make this show about Kendrick. I'm the bigger artist. I got a ton of hits. So I'm not going to perform this show, perform any diss records. If he takes the high road, cool. But if he doesn't, it could very well be the case that folks out in the jungles of Timbuktu might think that Kendrick actually whooped on his wife because Drake performed Family Matters at the World Cup. Now, if you don't know, the World Cup, as reported by FIFA, had an audience viewership of 1.5 billion people. Now, Super Bowl, they was reporting something about 133 million people. So you do the math. That's probably what, 10 times as many people watching the World Cup. And if I'm Kendrick and Drake decides to call me a wife beater in front of 1.5 billion people, I'm crashing out. I am crashing out because that is that's gonna be quite crazy. Now, what could Kendrick do if that possible scenario happens? And to be honest with you, like I give that about a 70% chance of happening. I actually think it will happen. Now, it hasn't been officially announced yet that Drake is going to be performing at the halftime show, but they've been hinting at this for a while. People have been speculating it's going to happen for a while. If you know beforehand when it was announced that Toronto would actually be hosting a few of the World Cup games, Drake was there with Gianni and they had a joint interview and they're all hugging on each other and all of that type of stuff. They've been, kind of buddy for a while. And so, you put two and two together, it makes the most sense that Drake would actually be performing at the halftime show. And so at that point, it really just depends on whether or not Drake wants to really take the high road and be a mature individual or not. If you're Kendrick Lamar and Drake performs Family Matters on a international stage, what do you do? I think the only thing you can do really is do what you did during the battle and try to step all over the record. Maybe you have a diss record ready to drop. That's about the only thing I would think that Kendrick would be able to do if that happens. Just try to distract people again like you did the last time. But even that wouldn't really matter. I mean, could you imagine Family Matters being the #1 song in every country on earth as a result of Drake performing that song? That would be nasty work. If you listen to Drake's records, he's hinting at the fact that he's not quite done with this thing yet. He's been hinting at it. Like there's just these lines talking about, we're turning the tables, be patient, round 2 and all that type of stuff. Drake's been hinting at for the last couple months that like, this battle isn't over. Like I'm trying to come back 3-1. Like Kendrick finna blow a 3-1 lead in Drake's mind, at least. Right. So maybe he knows that this is coming. Be patient. I'm going to really do damage to this dude. And to be honest with you, if he performs Family Matters, it will undoubtedly chart again all over the entire world. And then I think people will have to reassess, like, did Kendrick win this beef? Now, if you are listening for the first time, you may not know my opinion. I am probably with the 25% of the internet that thinks that Drake won. I still believe that. The only thing that you can really say in Kendrick's favor is the numbers that Not Like Us did. But if Drake gets a chance to perform Family Matters, which is an incredible song, and the whole world gets to hear it, I can't imagine Family Matters not doing numbers. It'll probably shoot up in streaming and rival, if not surpass, Not Like Us numbers. Now, a lot has to happen for that to be the case, but it is certainly possible. So we shall see what will happen. And I will say this, a part of me is torn about this. If in fact he does perform Family Matters, like the Drake fan in me wants it to continue. Yeah, man, get him. This will probably solidify the fact that you won the beef if you're able to perform on that large of a scale. And you think about the fact that like everybody's just been dissing Drake, like the Oscars, the Grammy, Super Bowl, like this would be perfect to get him back some revenge, right? And so like there's a part of me that wants to celebrate that, but there's another part of me that's like, man, yo, like this will be pretty grimy. You know what I'm saying? Like this will be pretty grimy, man. And like, I don't know. I almost feel like, will this be instigating and taking this beef too far? Now you could probably say the beef has already gotten too far, but I can't imagine like stuff going well. Like if Kendrick gets accused of beating his woman on an international stage with renewed eyes and renewed attentions to those claims. Now, maybe those claims are false and Kendrick doesn't have anything to worry about. But like, at one point, do we consider like, making these types of accusations on these types of platforms, could it end up getting people in trouble? Like, let's say Kendrick really did put hands on Whitney. Could that open up any sort of investigations into that? Or, you know what I mean? Like at some point, like, I'm wondering, like, is this going to get anybody in trouble? Like, and also you think about the fact that like, what happens if this is seen as so unbelievably disrespectful that it puts Drake's life in danger? I mean, so far the beef has kind of been settling down and, these are the two biggest rappers in the world right now. So you can't imagine them ever taking it to the streets or whatever. But like, I ain't gonna lie, if I'm Kendrick and he just called me a wife beater or a woman beater, a domestic abuser in front of 1.5 billion people, there might be an itching to take this to the streets. Like, now Kendrick gotta eat that because he performed Not Like Us at the Super Bowl first. But at some point, like, you keep stoking the fire, you keep stoking the flames. And I'm just wondering, like, is this gonna get to a point where it's well past the point of any type of return? You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I guess that's the Christian in me wanting to like, hey guys, let's simmer down. Let's move past this. This was fun, but like, it's getting kind of crazy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The Drake fan in me wants to go, yo, get him, Drake. The believer in me wants to go, man, yo, chill out, Drake. Like this might be too much. But anyway, it's still a long time from now. We will see what will happen. But I ain't gonna lie, Drake might just be turning the tables, because as far as I'm concerned, if he gets a chance to perform Family Matters on an international stage, that will make Drake, in my opinion, the winner of this beef, and it will establish Family Matters, in my opinion, as the greatest diss record of all time. I know that's controversial. Get into the comment section. Tell me what you think. It's been Providence. Thank you guys for listening. See you guys in the next video.